Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can see, we are going to be going through my Q2 of 2022 reading wrap up. I think that makes sense. Yeah, so basically we're going through the books that I read in the months of April, May and June. I do it like this instead of monthly because I do not read that many books. This month I have 5 books to go through, not as many as last time, and also because one of them really took over my life for like a month and a half and it took me so long to read it. So yeah, without further ado, let's go through the books that I read in Q2 of this year. So the first book that I picked up was Girl A by Abigail Dean. This follows Girl A. Her name is Lex Gracie. The synopsis is very short. It just says, Girl A, she said, the girl who escaped. If anyone was going to make it, it was going to be you. I am Lex Gracie, but they call me Girl A. I grew up with my family on the moors. I escaped when I was 15 years old. Now something is pulling me back. It kind of follows Girl A, who was in this situation when she was younger, and it's about her transitioning and kind of dealing with what happened because she's obviously now escaped and she's trying to like live a normal life and integrate into like just regular life, I suppose, whilst dealing with her past childhood trauma. Okay, so you have the timeline of what happened when she was, you know, like a child, what she escaped from, and then you have her timeline now as an adult who is post this thing that she was in. I did find this book really interesting. It was quite fast paced. I read this fairly quickly as well. I just did not like how, I mean, maybe it's just me being silly, but I found that the timeline just kept jumping all over the place and it wasn't very clear as to when it happens. So sometimes I would be like reading something and thinking I'm in like this timeline, and then it turns out like somewhere in the last like couple of minutes it actually has switched to like a different timeline, and I'm just like, wait a minute, and I kind of had to go back a few times on it. But yeah, I thought it was a good book. I found it really interesting. It was entertaining. So like if you're looking for quite like a fast-paced, like darker thriller slash crime novel, this would be quite a good one to pick up. I'm gonna give it 3.5 out of 5. If I'm gonna be honest, it's not something that's like kind of stuck in my head. I didn't really think about it too much after I read it, but yeah, I'd still recommend it. It's still quite a good read. Okay, so now the second book that I picked up, this was the one that took me a month and a half to read, purely because it is a monster in size and in content. And if you haven't guessed it yet, it is Hanya Yanigahara's A Little Life. There's 700 plus pages in this book, but that's not even the thing that made me like take so long to read it. So A Little Life follows 4 friends. They are Jude, who is our main character. He's the main protagonist. And then you have Willem, JB, and Malcolm. It's about their friendship, and you kind of see their life as they first started when they were all together in college to when they are like, you know, kind of older as well, like the highs and the lows of their lives and, you know, finding their way. What I like to also say, the coming of age part 2, because I think coming of age is usually, you know, associated with when you're a teenager, but there's also the coming of age that people experience in their 20s, and that's when you kind of feel super lost and things happen, and it really shapes your future or who you are as a person. This book comes with trigger warnings. I will tell you that right now, and I would definitely look those up. This took me a month and a half to read, and it wasn't because of the fact that there was like 700 plus pages. This isn't one to binge read. I mean, I know some people have done it, but I personally would not have been able to binge read this. I don't think I could have physically done that because of the content of the book and the themes surrounding it. I would find myself in a very like, there'll be times where I could like read like 100 pages or whatever in one sitting, and then there were times where I could read like 5 pages and like let me put you down for a minute, I will see you in a few days. Yeah, I had to keep taking breaks from it, otherwise it was going to be a little bit overwhelming for me, and I certainly would not recommend anybody under the age of 18 to read this, because it is, like I said, it has very mature and dark themes in the plot. But yeah, 5 out of 5 for me, but please do your research if you do plan on picking this up. Okay, so let's move on from that. Book number 3 is a book that I picked up because after reading A Little Life, I needed to make sure I didn't get into a reading slump, because everybody, well, I say everybody, most people that I saw who read A Little Life went through like a fat reading slump afterwards, and I was just like, wait, we are not going to do that. And I said to myself, I need to find a book that is short, still interesting, but not, you know, not deep like that. So Overcame, Sayaka Murata's Convenience Store Woman. I have been meaning to read this for so long, and I binged this in literally 24 hours, probably because it was such an easy read, 162 pages, fairly big font. So yeah, like I said, everything that I needed and wanted in a book after a little life. So this follows the story of a woman called Keiko. She's 36 years old, as the blurb says. She's never had a boyfriend, and she's been working at this convenience store basically for her whole entire life. And then there's like societal requirements that people think that she should have, which is like a better job than that, children, a husband, and her friends and family kind of keep drilling that into her. And there's nothing crazy that happens in this book, which is what I like. It's just like normal. It's just regular life. And when I finished reading this book, I remember being like, what did I just read? I just didn't get it. But then a few days later, because I kept kind of considering it in my head, like trying to figure out like what I took away from this book and what I understood the book to be about, I think I understood it better of like, you know, it seemed mundane. It gave me very Eleanor Oliphant vibes, in a sense that it's like just about a regular person who lives a quote-unquote boring life. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed this. But yeah, I gave this book originally a 3 out of 5. This time I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5. But Goodreads don't do half, so yeah. So after that, I read Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. Mainly because there was like an advert for the movie that's coming out this month. So I thought, let's read this quickly before the movie comes out, because I do want to see the movie if this is good. If you don't know what this is about just yet, it follows the life of Kaya, who is also known as the Marsh Girl. She lives in the marsh, and she's kind of been fending for herself forever. And as she grows older, she catches the attention of 2 boys from the town that's like connected to the marsh. And then this guy called Chase Andrews, who is like the town's sweetheart, he is found dead. And it kind of follows like a whodunit of that, but also the timeline of Kaya's life as she was just like fending for herself and lived in the marsh and was just completely shunned away by the town. I found it very entertaining, in a sense that I would definitely watch the movie now. The plot twist, I didn't see coming. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see it coming. And I'm usually very good at guessing. This, I think I read in like 3-4 days, and I absolutely devoured this. I enjoyed this, and so I gave this one a 4 out of 5. And then the last and final book that I read in this quarter is Jesse Sutanto's Dial A for Aunties. So this follows the life of Medi Chan, who is of, I think, Indonesian Chinese descent, and she lives in California with her mum and her 3 aunties. So she goes on this blind date. This isn't a spoiler, it's literally on a synopsis. She goes on a blind date, accidentally kills him for whatever reason you'll see in the book, and then she panics and basically asks her mum and her aunties for help. And this was actually such a funny book. I was fully laughing out loud. I was lolling at this book so hard. I think because I, as a Filipino, a lot of Asian cultures and mannerisms and traits I think are similar. Like I have, on my mum's side, I have 7 aunties and then my mum. So I see like character traits in these aunties that I see with my aunties. You know, just it was really, really funny. It was really lighthearted. I think I read so many like stressful and like depressing, traumatizing books that I just wanted to just read one that was like, although it was about, you know, her accidentally killing someone, it was a rom-com. And I would absolutely love to see this become a movie. This was just so funny, and I gave this one a 3.5 stars out of 5. Okay, so those are the 5 books that I read in quarter 2. I don't know what else to say to you really, apart from I'm hoping to read more in quarter 3, because as I'm filming this now, it's like it's the 4th of July. So happy Independence Day, America. But I actually, as of current, have 4 books that I've started and need to finish. Like, I can't, and I've just bought more books. Like, I literally need to sort my life out because I'm just being greedy and I'm hoarding. But I have 4 books. I'm about to finish one, and I think I can finish the other one by the end of the week. And then there's 2 that my heart's just not really in it because they're non-fictions, but I do enjoy them. I just don't find them as much of like a, oh my god, what happens next? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna not punish myself, but I'm going to try and discipline myself to finish these 4 books before I read or buy any other books. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if the lighting's been funny. Like, I'm trying to use natural light and the sun just keeps going like behind the clouds. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, please do subscribe to my channel. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.